Good evening, Southeast Texas. Over the next 15 minutes, we'll be taking your text questions and also taking an in-depth look at the next 7 days. Things that we don't normally get to share on air, we'll have time to do that here. So today we have seen quite a bit of Saharan dust over the area, and that's why the sky appeared milky in color, and that dust will gradually thin out as we work on in through, say, Friday into Saturday. What's that telling us is that in addition to the dust, it means that there's air in the mid-levels of the atmosphere that is dry. So that's another reason that we haven't seen too much as we overlook downtown Beaumont at this hour. In your weather headlines, it looks hot, humid, and mainly dry through about Saturday, as high pressure will be over our area in the upper levels. That high will gradually and slowly weaken over the course of the weekend, and that will allow us to see at least a chance of shower and thunderstorm activity, especially early next week. Until then, we're looking at highs in the mid-90s across portions of our area, especially tomorrow and also on Friday. In your allergy report, well, not the best of reports. Grass pollen has climbed to high levels today, joining moderate levels of weed pollen and mold on the Southeast Texas allergy report. Text me if you have a question, 409-749-9302. Tomorrow we're expecting a 5 to 10% coverage of showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, and high temperatures for the most part will range between 93 and about 95 or 96. Heat indices around 100 to 102 tomorrow. So triple digit heat indices with a very high UV index, and that means that you can burn if you're fair skinned like myself in as little as 15 to 20 minutes. So use the sunscreen. Looking at south to southwest winds at 2 to 7 miles an hour. So tomorrow in Beaumont, we're expecting about a 5% coverage, about 93 to 94. And it looks like if we see showers or a thunderstorm, it would be mainly during the afternoon hours under partly cloudy skies. And for the lakes area, we'll go with about 95 to 96. Now, you may see a little better chance of shower and thunderstorm activity up that way, especially over towards Hardin and also in towards Tyler County. I'll show you that on Futurecast, as we're going to be watching a southwest flow develop over western portions of our viewing area, and that may scrape up a few showers that may just clip our area coming up tomorrow afternoon. Otherwise, partly cloudy to partly sunny skies that way. So once again, I love to show this. We look at 10,000 foot level moisture in the atmosphere. Notice the brown is dry, and then you go up the scale to where green is moist. Remember, clouds need moisture to form and continue building up into thunderstorms. You start off with cumulus, and then they grow, and if there's sufficient moisture, then they can grow up to cumulonimbus and shower and thunderstorm activity. Today, we didn't see anything because of the brown, dry air at 10,000 feet. Obviously, we have moisture at the surface and pretty much always do during the summertime. So we look at moisture levels. Tomorrow, maybe a little better chance of shower and thunderstorm activity, but we're right in between as far as that goes. So a little better increase in moisture, particularly at 5,000 feet. And same thing coming up on Sunday. So rain chances will be improving as the atmosphere slowly moistens up, but I still don't think it's going to be sufficient enough to bring us more than about a 20% coverage maybe by Sunday and Monday, Tuesday of next week. So again, need a little bit more to go higher rain chances on Monday and Tuesday. Still not impressive moisture levels. So again, we're getting the moisture back in, and that is going to allow at least more clouds and the threat for at least a 20, maybe 30% coverage. Now, as we head towards the middle of next week, high pressure will be building back into the area. Notice how we start drying off in the mid levels of the atmosphere around 10,000 feet. So rain chances will be going down as we work towards the middle of next week. So for your 4th of July weekend forecast, Friday kicking things off, we'll go with about a 5% coverage and mostly sunny skies. Lows in the mid-70s, highs in the mid and lower 90s. For Saturday, again, about a 5% coverage, maybe partly cloudy skies. Lows in the mid-70s, highs in the low to mid-90s. And then as we head towards Sunday, we will go with, well, let's say 20% coverage of showers and thunderstorms. Not a big chance. And again, highs maybe a little cooler under partly sunny skies by Sunday. So not a bad weekend, not a bad 3-day weekend for a lot of you, and looks like great weather is expected Friday night for downtown Beaumont for the big fireworks display. We'll get to that in just a second. Right now, getting a little high level cloudiness with the northwest flow aloft around high pressure. And as you can see, we had a couple of showers. That's about it for today. So obviously less than a 5% coverage on the Pro Roofing Concepts satellite and radar loop. Temperatures not cooling off that much in the triple digits as far as the heat index, and we'll see that once again coming up tomorrow. Across the area, satellite and radar really depicts what is going on. Look at the cloud cover, thick, and showers ongoing where they really need it, over towards San Angelo and back over towards San Antonio. Now what I've done is I've colorized where the deepest moisture, where the surface, not just at 5,000 but up to 10,000 foot level, how much moisture is in the atmosphere. And this really shows where the outer edge of the area of high pressure is. This is the high in the upper levels right over us. So we're in between moisture off towards our east and off towards our west. But the flow is basically clockwise around the high. That is what we're seeing right now. Plus a little disturbance rotating around that high. Some of the remnants, you can see kind of a little bit of a spin there over towards San Angelo. The remnants of once Tropical Storm Barry headed off, it's certainly the moisture headed off towards the north, and that has really kept them down into the 70s as far as temperatures. But more importantly, they're getting some badly needed rain where they are seeing an exceptional drought out into West Texas. So this high is not going to move anywhere real quick, and it's very dry air in the mid levels of the atmosphere, so that is keeping shower and thunderstorm activity at bay across our area. So we'll put things into motion on Futurecast, and we're looking at fair to partly cloudy skies tonight. It's going to be a warm, humid night. We'll go with the mid 70s in the lakes area. Yeah, like I'm going to go 71. That's why you can't go with model data. We'll go with lows in the mid to upper 70s here in the triangle for low temperatures, maybe close to 80 degrees. And then tomorrow, we're going to be watching the high over us, but again, a southwest flow aloft will develop. So some of these isolated showers could just clip maybe Liberty, Hardin, and also Tyler County. I expect very little here in the triangle, if anything at all. Otherwise, skies will be partly cloudy, maybe partly sunny at times. We expect highs in the low, perhaps mid 90s. And again, heat indices will probably be in the triple digits. So pretty typical summertime afternoon with below normal rainfall. And look at the rains the other side of Huntsville as it moves on off towards the north, missing our area. So this graphic I have worked for months on trying to help depict what we're expecting. So the brown is dry air at 10,000 feet. That is the sweet spot for creating shower and thunderstorm activity. If clouds don't develop at or to 10,000 feet, they're usually showers and weak. So at 10,000 feet, then you start developing showers and more like thunderstorms. And that is why we didn't see much today. High pressure on top of us plus dry air. Where's all the rain? It's back over towards San Angelo, Lubbock, west and southwest Texas. That's what that green is showing. You can get showers and thunderstorms where that moisture is located. Not always, but again, you can see also these red blotches. Those are disturbances rotating around the high. So we'll put things into motion. Wow, look at the very dry air over towards Memphis. Put things into motion, and that high does not go anywhere coming up tomorrow. We still see plentiful dry air over our area, maybe just clipping the lakes area, just on the edge of that. So we'll go with a 10% coverage up in the lakes area and a 5% coverage in the triangle as this high slowly weakens and we start eroding that dry air, but still have dry air over our area on Friday. Again, the other side of Corpus Christi, the other side of Houston, that's where we'll see shower and thunderstorm activity on Friday. Now, as we work on into Saturday, that high begins to weaken and we're going to replace it by an elongated area of low pressure known as a trough of low pressure. So the high goes bye-bye and we'll get low pressure moving through the Gulf in the upper levels, not at the surface, so don't get that look in your eyes. And we will see this upper level trough of low pressure bring us a south flow off the Gulf. It also means more moisture to work with. Now, that's not a guarantee that you'll see widespread shower and thunderstorm activity. It just means that it's more conducive to producing it. So we'll go with a 20 to 30% coverage at this time. We need more of this green over us before I'm going to go a 40 or 50 or 60% coverage. Otherwise, that will be the case coming up Monday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday And then as we work on into Wednesday of next week, wow, look at here we go again. High pressure begins building over towards New Orleans, and that will likely move back our way as the ridge rebuilds, thankfully, over our area, and will extend back over to the southwestern U.S. So maybe hotter, drier as we head towards the middle and latter part of next week as it displaces all that green and moisture that could produce shower and thunderstorm activity off towards our west and off towards our north. So again, best chances of rain and thunderstorm activity looks to be coming up on Monday and Tuesday of next week. In the tropics, models just not very amicable to producing anything as far as the tropics go. If it does develop, it's going to be a weak system. Regardless, let's see, that would be headed outbound. So obviously not an issue for the Gulf of Mexico or the Eastern Gulf, maybe over that way. But I think we're in pretty good shape as far as the tropics. I've looked at the European ensemble, the GFS ensemble, the GFS long-term. We're talking 10 to 17 days, 10 to 14 days. That would take us to the 17th of July. And I don't see anything other than maybe a weak depression. I don't see anything really as far as any tropical storm or hurricane in the southwest Atlantic, the Gulf, or the Caribbean. So I think we're in pretty good shape as we head towards the middle of July. And there we go. You see all this dust in our area. This is the Saharan dust. That's why the sky looked milky today. Now this will be with us coming up tomorrow and also on Friday. But look what happens on Monday. Makes perfect sense. The dust tells us that the air is dry. That's why we did not have any rain today. But look how the dust goes away as we head on into Monday. So that means moisture at 10,000 feet starting to increase across the area. And that's why we'll have the chance of shower and thunderstorm activity. But look at this next surge of dry air and dusty air. That means more dry air heading out of the Caribbean towards our area. And we'll likely see that, I think, towards the latter part of next week. So on the Gulf tomorrow, it looks like a good day for boating, and that's likely going to be the case right on through the weekend because of light winds and seas. So just make sure you have everybody on board has a life preserver, and don't forget that sunscreen. Slightly choppy seas are expected on the Gulf around 2 feet. We're going to see west and southwest winds at 5 to 10 knots, water temperature at 91. And we're looking at high tides at 12:17 a.m. and also 10 o'clock a.m. tomorrow. So you get two low tides tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning and at 12:17 a.m. High tides at 4:38 a.m. and 5:29 p.m. at Sabine Pass. So our forecast tonight, we'll go partly cloudy. I don't think we'll see any rain. Mid-70s lakes, mid to upper 70s, maybe close to 80 here in the Triangle, particularly over towards Mid-County, Bridge City, and also Port Arthur, Sabine Pass. For tomorrow, again, I think the best chance of shower and thunderstorm activity will be over towards Hardin and Tyler County. You saw we get more of a southwest flow right on the edge, so some of those showers could just clip those two counties. So we'll go with a 5 to 10% coverage of seeing those showers and partly cloudy skies. South and southwest winds are expected. So tomorrow, heat in the seas likely to be in the triple digits. We're going to go hotter than that up in the lakes. About 100, 101, maybe 102 up that way. And our 7-day weather impact forecast. Again, here in Beaumont, I don't expect more than a 5, maybe 10% coverage coming up Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Highs 92, 93, 94. Obviously a little hotter up towards the lakes area. So again, this is due to that dry air in the mid-levels and also high pressure over our area in the upper